So just let me take a few minutes to again thank all of you here on behalf of ADPC, now especially our partners from Canada, Germany, ADB, and my dear friend, the leader of the Thai private sector, Kun Isala. I think you have heard from him the importance of the involvement of the private sector in the natural disaster, or whether it's natural or man-made disaster, how to prepare for the risk reduction and management. And I think this is going to be a big push and give us the initiate to move forward in working closely with the private sector. I think ADPC is in a very, very appropriate situation whereby we are not government, we are not non-government, we are what I would call is a technical oriented, independent regional organizations. As such, I think we could really serve as a catalyst between the public sector, the private sector, the academic, and even civil society. And I think ADPC has been doing this work for over, I think, close to 20 years. I've been involved with the ADPC from the very beginning when it was still at AIT, and then, I left the country and worked, and when I came back, fate as such, it is such that I now have to join ADPC as a interim executive director. But at the same time, over the years, I have been involved now, and my main function is clearly now in the private sector with some major companies here in Thailand. And I also been appointed as a vice chairman of the Chamber, Thai Chamber of Commerce, which Kun Isala is the chairman and of the Thai Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Trade. So I've been working quite closely with Kun Isala for many years. And we have come to the conclusion that the only way to move forward, not just only Thailand, but any country, as you have heard from the ambassador, from the German ambassador, Canadian ambassador, is the cooperation between the public and private sector, the PPP, the public-private partnership. So far, I think we have heard more about PPP in the area of trade and investment. That's on the positive side. But then when it comes to the downside, when they have disaster struck, whether natural or man-made, as Kun Isala had already given samples, the case, specific case, which happened to his corporation, you can see that the need for the public-private partnership is very, very much urgent. And we cannot take it for granted that, the disaster when the disaster struck, is it the responsibility, the mainly of the public sector, of the government? I think that is not the case. You cannot deny the responsibility of the private sector as well. We have to consider ourselves as part of the society, and we do have to work closely with the other part of the society to keep the country moving. What we have seen in the past, what are the case of Toshiba, as mentioned by Kun Isala, or even just last week, what happened in Japan, the unfortunate timing sample of what, the disaster can do to the private sector. And you can see 4 or 5 major Japanese companies had to stop operating. And this is not just a one thing, a one-shot thing. It may happen again and again in the future. And not only in Japan, it can happen in any country. So I think this forum is, unfortunately, is very timely because of this earthquake in Japan and in Ecuador. So I do believe that, the experts gathering here in this room could come up with concrete recommendations of how the private sector could become more active in working with other parts of the society to manage risk reduction, not only for the benefit of the society at large, but for the benefit of the private sector itself as well. So I do hope that ADPC could draw some recommendations from your cross-fertilization for the next 2 days, and we could help implement the recommendation in the region as an independent regional organization, but very much technical-oriented organization. And I would like to also take this opportunity to thank all the ADPC team, especially technical team, our technical experts who put this conference, this forum together in such a way that I'm quite certain that it would benefit all of you present here this morning. So I think now we should be ready to show you the video presentation as prepared by Minister Pichet, and I think he will be arriving soon after the presentation of the video. So I thank you all and thanks for joining us for make this forum memorable. Thank you so much.